The segment this week deals with the question, should it be illegal to fire coaches mid-season or before the completion of the season? And Jesse, I'd like to start with you. You kind of spearheaded this question today, and I'd like to know your thoughts and what your thinking is.
I mean, this one's tough, right? Like, yeah, I came up with the question. I haven't seen anybody talking about this. It's just something that came to mind. I can see the argument for obviously firing someone mid-season, because at that point you're like, hey, we can get ahead of this coaching carousel that the SEC has become famous for. And we can pick up a big name hire before someone else does, and then that way they can get ahead of recruiting, because that's going to be a big deal. We're seeing issues, like Mike Leach, where he hasn't gotten to recruit. He's going into somewhere different offensive system, and those players aren't ready for that. It's hard. And then that makes recruiting even harder, and it's just domino effect. So I get the mid-season thing. But if everyone had to wait till the completion of the national championship or at least the regular season closes, they get to fire and make hires, I think it would be interesting. Because then I think you would have even more of a frenzy, because everyone's starting at ground zero, and it's just like, I think it would make for really good drama.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want it to happen. I just think it would be fun.
Matt, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
I just, unless you've got a really good reason, like, for example, there's some sort of recruiting violation, or I don't know, the coach wrecked his motorcycle with his secretary on the back of it.
Hypothetical.
That would never happen, but on the off chance
Never
that it
happened
did happen,
before.
like if there's some big scandal, then sure, I can see firing him in the middle of the season. But to axe him because the team's not doing well, or you decide that you've got a home run hire, I don't know.
Like, how good is your team going to do mid-season without the head coach that they thought they're going to play for?
Right. But there's also the other side of that argument of, well, we'll just go ahead and tank this season in order to be prepped for next season. I can tell you that I've never been a fan of axing coaches in the middle of the season, just because, the season's not over. You don't really know what you're looking at yet. I mean, if we'd, like, for example, last year, if they had fired Jeremy Pruitt after that 5-game skid, we wouldn't have finished the season like we finished. I mean, we looked pretty good.
Well, you also don't get the benefits like an NFL would, where if you tank this season, it's like, well, at least we'll be higher when it comes to the draft, like blah, 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 we'll have a draft pick. You don't get that in the NCAA.
Yeah. But that's kind of my standpoint on it.
I don't have a problem with firing coaches mid-season, mainly from the standpoint of just the way the contracts are written. These guys are going to get paid a ton of money regardless. As we're seeing with Gus Malzahn, he's going to get paid a ton of money not to coach. And it allows the team that flexibility of trying to find somebody else quickly, trying to make whatever adjustments. I mean, and look, a lot of times it ends up, biting them, in the butt anyway, as far as the decisions that they make. So, look, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like the fact that, they have that opportunity to take that chance. I mean,
I don't feel bad for the coaches. Like you said, they make millions of dollars regardless. That sounds like the best job ever, to get fired and get $21 million.
Yeah.
But I feel bad, I think, for the players.
Yeah, I do hate it for the players as well.
Consequences for them.
But at the same token, we've seen coaches not get fired, but take a job, and step away from players that they've recruited. So there's the flip side to that too, where they kind of abandoned the guys that they were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm never going to leave. You guys come here."
Right.
So it works both ways, I guess. So,
sure.
Yeah, but no, I like that. That's good.